Mabel Thompson stood at the edge of Evergreen Park, her eyes scanning the familiar landscape that had changed so little since her youth. It was a crisp Saturday morning in late spring, and the air carried the scent of blooming lilacs and freshly cut grass. At 78, Mabel felt a stirring of nostalgia mixed with a spark of inspiration. Memories of picnics from the 1960s flooded her mind. The laughter of children, the clinking of glass lemonade pitchers, and the joyful melodies of a nearby radio playing classic hits. Determined to recreate those cherished moments, Mabel set out to organize a neighborhood picnic. She pinned colorful flyers to mailboxes, calling for everyone to join in a day of simple pleasures and community bonding. Her neighbors, many of whom had moved away over the years, began to respond. John and Linda, whose children had grown up and left for college, decided it was time to reconnect. The Martins, new to the neighborhood, saw it as an opportunity to meet their friendly neighbors. Even Mrs. Jenkins, who rarely left her porch, penned a note of curiosity. On the day of the picnic, Mabel arrived early with a wicker basket filled with homemade potato salad, sandwiches, and her famous apple pie. She spread out a checkered blanket under the old oak tree, the same one where she had spent countless afternoons with friends and family. The sound of footsteps and cheerful greetings signaled the arrival of her neighbors. Kids ran around with frisbees and balloons, while adults set up tables and shared stories of the past. As the morning unfolded, Mabel watched with a heart full of joy as old friendships rekindled and new connections formed. There were moments of laughter over shared memories and the discovery of common interests that transcended years apart. The simple act of coming together reminded everyone of the strength and warmth of their community. By midday, the park was alive with the vibrant energy of unity and camaraderie. Mabel felt a deep sense of accomplishment as she saw smiles all around, knowing that her effort had not only recreated a beloved tradition, but also strengthened the bonds that held the neighborhood together. Hours later, as the sun began to set, the lingering conversations and contented sighs of a day well spent echoed the harmonious spirit of the past, bridging generations and leaving everyone eagerly anticipating the next gathering. As twilight deepened, Mabel began to tidy up, her movements slow but purposeful. She gathered leftover plates and cups, offering a few to anyone who lingered. John approached her, a warm smile on his face. "Mabel, this was exactly what we needed," he said, his eyes reflecting gratitude. "It's been too long since we all came together like this." Linda nodded in agreement. "You have a gift, Mabel, bringing people together, reminding us of what truly matters." Mabel felt a blush of humility. "I just wanted to recreate those happy times," she replied softly, "to see everyone happy again." Meanwhile, the Martins were engaged in a lively conversation with Mrs. Jenkins, who had finally found the courage to share stories from her youth. Her eyes sparkled as she recounted tales of the neighborhood's early days, her voice gaining strength with each memory. The children listened raptly, their imaginations ignited by the vivid pictures she painted. As the night grew darker, fairy lights strung between the oak tree's branches began to glow, casting a magical ambience over the park. Mabel watched as the community settled into a relaxed evening, the barriers of time and distance dissolving under the soft luminescence. Conversations flowed effortlessly, blending past and present, creating a tapestry of shared experiences. Sitting on the old bench, Mabel reflected on the day's success. She realized that the picnic was more than a nostalgic gesture. It was a catalyst for healing and renewal. The connections rekindled today had the power to shape the future, fostering a sense of belonging and mutual support. In that moment, a young woman approached her, holding a smartphone. "Mabel, can I take your picture with you in the oak tree? I want to share today on social media to inspire others." Mabel smiled, touched by the gesture. "Of course, dear. If it helps others find their community, then it's worth it." As the last guests departed, Mabel stood alone under the now quiet oak tree. The stars twinkled above, mirroring the lights below. She felt a profound sense of fulfillment, knowing that her efforts had sown seeds of unity that would continue to grow. With a contented sigh, Mabel made her way home, her heart light and hopeful for the future gatherings yet to come. Mabel walked down the familiar path, the soft rustle of leaves accompanying her thoughts. The success of today lingered in her mind, each smile and laugh, a testament to the strength of their community. She pondered the stories Mrs. Jenkins had shared, realizing how much wisdom lay in their collective past. These memories were the foundation upon which they could build a resilient future. As she reached her doorstep, Mabel noticed the first light of dawn creeping over the horizon. The night had been a bridge between generations, a merging of old and new that had revitalized her sense of purpose. She thought about the young woman who had taken her picture, recognizing the power of connectivity in the digital age. Perhaps this was the key to sustaining their unity, embracing both tradition and innovation. Inside, Mabel placed her keys on the hook and paused, looking around her cozy home. The walls, adorned with photographs and mementos, mirrored the vibrant community spirit she had fostered today. She decided to jot down some ideas for future gatherings, inspired by the evening's events. A book club, a gardening workshop, maybe even a summer concert. Possibilities blossomed in her mind. Meanwhile, across town, John sat at his desk, his thoughts drifting back to the picnic. He felt a renewed sense of commitment to the neighborhood, realizing how much they had in common despite the years apart. Determined, he began drafting a proposal for a monthly series of events, aiming to keep the momentum going. He knew that with Mabel's leadership and the community's enthusiasm, they could create something truly special. Back at the park, the oak tree stood silent under the vast sky, its leaves whispering secrets to the night. The fairy lights had dimmed, but the magic lingered, a promise of many more evenings like this one. Mabel's footsteps faded into the distance, but her heart remained intertwined with the lives she had touched. As the first rays of sun illuminated the park, a new day began, carrying with it the hope and unity that Mabel had ignited. The seeds planted tonight would grow, nurtured by the collective spirit of a community that had rediscovered its heart. The following week dawned bright and clear, with the community abuzz with anticipation for the next gathering. Mabel greeted neighbors with warm smiles as she distributed flyers for the upcoming book club meeting. Her enthusiasm was infectious, sparking conversations and plans among everyone she met. John, too, was busy, coordinating with local businesses to secure venues and resources for the monthly events he envisioned. Their combined efforts created a ripple of excitement that spread through the neighborhood. As the weeks turned into months, the community thrived. The book club met every second Thursday, fostering deep discussions and friendships. The gardening workshop bloomed into a shared passion, transforming vacant lots into vibrant green spaces. The summer concert became an annual highlight, bringing together diverse talents and celebrating the unique spirit of the area. Each event reinforced the bonds that Mabel and John had worked so hard to strengthen, creating a tapestry of shared experiences and mutual support. One evening, as autumn leaves began to fall, Mabel and John stood together at the annual Harvest Fair, the culmination of their collaborative efforts. They watched as families enjoyed games, children laughed around the maypole, and neighbors shared stories over hot cider. The sense of belonging was palpable, a testament to the vision they had nurtured. Reflecting on their journey, Mabel realized that the true magic lay not just in the events themselves, but in the connections they fostered. The community had become a resilient family, capable of weathering any storm through unity and shared purpose. John added that the blend of tradition and innovation had been key, allowing them to honor their past while embracing the future. As twilight settled, the fairy lights in the park twinkled once more, symbolizing the enduring spirit of the community. Mabel and John exchanged a knowing smile, proud of what they had built together. The seeds of hope they had planted had flourished, ensuring that their neighborhood would continue to thrive for generations to come. In the end, the community discovered that their strength lay in their unity, the wisdom of their past, and their willingness to adapt and grow. Mabel's leadership and John's dedication had ignited a movement of connection and resilience, proving that when people come together with a common purpose, they can create something truly extraordinary. As the stars blanketed the night sky, the community stood united, ready to embrace whatever the future held, fortified by the heart they had rediscovered.